I was a little angry. I ain't gonna lie. I was very angry. There was a part of me that wanted to go over there and fight them because I was that angry. I couldn't believe that you guys tried to take advantage of me and try to rob me. So I know in the past I've said that Brazil's not as dangerous as some people think. However, in this scenario, things got a little bit sketchy. It got a little bit sus. So, guys, today I'm going to be retelling my story about the time that I almost got robbed in Rio de Janeiro. Let's get it, baby.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jamie Woods. But listen, guys, I'm here to talk to you guys about the time I almost got robbed in Rio de Janeiro. And technically I sort of did, but just stay tuned and watch the whole video, and I'm gonna let y'all decide for yourselves whether or not I truly got robbed or not. It really depends on how you look at it. But I've talked about this story before in the past. I actually did make a video about it this time last year. It literally is the 1 year anniversary, basically, of the time that I almost got robbed in Rio de Janeiro. So this is a very interesting story. No way, shape, or fashion is to diss or come at Brazil. No way at all, okay? I love Brazil. I treat Brazil like if it was my own country, like if I was Brazilian myself, okay? So I would never disrespect Brazil or make it seem like Brazil's, super, super duper dangerous. You're gonna get robbed as soon as you step outside your house, right? I'm not trying to make it seem that way. I do want you guys to take this video as a cautionary tale. Just make sure that when you're out there that you're thinking with your head, that you're moving smart, because if you don't, you can get caught up in some bullshit like what almost happened to me last year. So again, I'm not trying to say Brazil's dangerous. However, take this as a cautionary tale. But let's get it started. So let me paint the picture for you guys. It's 2024. Kendrick Lamar just dropped Not Like Us. Things are going crazy. Drake is in the mud. Real Madrid just beat Manchester City in a crazy Champions League game for all you guys that are into soccer, or football. Obviously in Brazil, football is a big sport. So I'm just painting the picture for y'all, right? And your boy, Jamie Woods, in that same time period, happens to be in Brazil for the very first time. I'm there for 2 weeks. I'm in Rio de Janeiro, living my life. It's the second to last day in Rio before I got to go to Sao Paulo. So I spent a week in Rio, and then I'm gonna spend a week in Sao Paulo. It was the second to last day, and your boy, I ain't gonna lie, I felt kind of sad. I was like, yeah, I really like Rio. I don't want to leave. Let me make the most out of it, right? Let me just go hard, make the most out of it. And so I remember telling my boy, who was hungover from the night before, that he didn't really want to do anything. He wanted to stay at the house, relax. I'm like, all right, cool, bro. You do what you got to do. I'll head up out of here. I'll go to Copacabana, talk to some girls, talk to some locals, get some drinks, get some food, and have a chill time over there. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful day out. I kind of want to check it out. You know what I mean? I want to make the most out of it before I got to go to Sao Paulo. So I walk on over to Copacabana. Everything's going great. It's nice and warm outside. Sun is beaming. Birds are chirping. A little bit of a breeze. Beautiful. You're right next to the beach by Copacabana. The Two Brothers Mountain, or whatever you want to call it, in the distance. You can see it. It's phenomenal, right? So I'm walking down that whole strip of Copacabana, Ipanema. And so I'm hungry. So I'm like, all right, let me go to this kiosk over here. So they have these kiosks in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro by Copacabana and Ipanema Beach and Leblon, where you can just sit there, drink, eat, chill with the friends, yap it up. You could just be in there. They're like outdoor restaurants or whatever you want to call them. So I went in one of them, and basically I had a nice steak and fries and rice. It was great. I had a drink. I had 2 beers. When I finished my meal, it was about 11:30 or so. So I was like, man, it's still early. I don't want to go back to the crib. I want to enjoy Brazil, enjoy Rio as much as possible while I'm still here. So I'm like, okay, how about I go to another kiosk and just drink or something, just change the scenery a little bit, because it kind of got a little bit boring there. They had a samba pagode band, but then they left, so it got a little boring. So I was like, all right, let me move on to the next spot. Let me see what other spots are over here. So I was walking by, do my thing, and then I saw this one kiosk that had a happy hour special, and it happened to be around the time that I happened to be walking around. So I was like, all right, you know what? Happy hour for caipirinhas, Fuck it, let's go inside. So I order like 2 or 3 caipirinhas in that spot, and each of them were like only $1 each because of the happy hour specials. Just imagine getting $1 caipirinhas. The caipirinhas are this big, bro. You're getting them for $1 happy hour specials. You know, so in total, I'll probably only spend $3 for all that because I only got 3 caipirinhas. However, keep in mind that before that, I had like 2 beers. So coming out of that, you know, I was a little buzzy off of the beers. And then with the caipirinhas, with the 3 caipirinhas, I was actually drunk after that. I got drunk, right? The food couldn't even absorb all of it. I ended up getting drunk because these caipirinhas are made very strong. I guess they like to make the caipirinhas strong. And your boy's not used to it. And I got a little bit drunk. So I had to take a piss. I paid my tab. I headed up out of there. I had to take a piss. And for those of you who don't know, the way the bathrooms work in Copacabana is, or basically anywhere along that strip, is basically they're underground. You take the stairs down, there's someone there, you give them like 50 cents, however much it is, and then you go to the bathroom, you do what you got to do, and that's that, right? So basically, I go on over to the bathroom, and there's these like favela guys right by it. But they seem pretty chill. They seem pretty cool. There wasn't like any threatening thing or anything, right? And they also happen to be street vendors. So I was walking past them because the thing is, I have to go to the bathroom. They're right next to the bathroom. So we started talking because I saw one of the guys had like a Bayern Munich shirt or Arsenal. I forgot which one it was, Arsenal or Bayern Munich for my football fans. So me being the football fan that I am, I started bantering and trash talking with him in the minimal Portuguese that I knew. But it wasn't like he didn't feel offended. He actually fucked with the fact I was bantering with him. So he started bantering back because I told him I was a Real Madrid fan. So we started bantering about our clubs. It was kind of cool. But the tricky part was when he asked me if I wanted to bet on the games today. And he took out some money out of his pocket and said, "Oh, you want to bet?" And I was like, no, I'm fine. And then he kept yapping, but I told him, "Yo, I'll be back. I got to use the bathroom." So I went downstairs. But, you know, there's a red flag in my mind. Like, those are I had like a huge hunch, like a big gut feeling that maybe I shouldn't talk to these guys once I get up out of here, because I don't know. They just gave me like a red flag after he just pulled out the money like that, asking me if I wanted to bet with him. I don't know. It just seemed like they were trying to scam me. Like, they already knew I was American, but they probably saw the dollar signs and they're like, "Yo, let's try to scam this dude."
Single girls and boys.
All my account in public because I am a famous.
Oh, you're famous. I don't even know you. You have 4,000 followers. Famous where? In your city, in your village? Famous in your little village in Egypt.
Search for me in Google, on YouTube, on all platforms.
No, if you were famous, I didn't have to Google you.
No, yes, and Google.
No, honey. No, honey, no. Not gonna waste my time like that.
Why?
No way.
You know, not my type. But this is خرجت.
Yo, Muhammad. Yo, anywhere. I went back upstairs and the guys were still there. And so basically, there was a side of me that was like, "Yo, like, Jamie, keep it moving. Don't engage with these guys. They're up to no good." But me being the social butterfly that I am, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. What's the worst that can happen, right? He was just trying to bet. I mean, that happens here in America too, right? Where people try to bet with each other. So I let that go. I let that red flag go. And I started re-engaging with them. And I asked them this time around, "Guys, where can I get beach accessories like chairs, blankets?" Because the thing is, I don't see any stores here. I want to go to the beach. But I wasn't quite sure how it worked. I didn't know where you got the chairs or anything from. I didn't know how it worked. And then there was a language barrier. So I didn't know how to ask for it either. So I just asked them since I already spoke to them. And they happen to be selling stuff. So they probably already know where to go. So as soon as I told them that, one of the guys that was actually sitting on a beach chair got up, folded the chair immediately, and gave it over to me. And then he was like, "Oh, that's 50 reais if you want." And then I was like, 50 reais? Like, I know 50 reais is not that much, but for a beach chair, I don't know about that, because I did the conversion. And let me do the conversion right now, actually, guys, while I got you over here. You know, this is where I told you guys I may have gotten ripped off. I don't know. But 50 reais to USD. So I'm going to do the math with y'all. All right, so 50 reais is about $10. So that's 8.57. So $8.57. But if you round it up, that's $10. So that's how much they were trying to charge me for the beach chair. right? So I thought that was a little bit too thing, but I was like, all right, it's only $10. Fuck it, right? I could use it today and I could use it tomorrow, my last day, right? So whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I saw they were selling jerseys. So I was like, oh, I want a Vinicius Jr. jersey. And the guy was like, okay, cool. Because I wanted, like, to rock out a Brazil jersey. So he gave it over to me. He gave it to me my size. And he said, that's another 50 reais. So 50, 50. So 10 and 10, $20, right? So I didn't think, all right, that's not too bad. And then they were like, okay, add the blanket on top of that too. They just kept adding more stuff to the stuff I already had. And I was like, guys, take it easy. I was only just trying to get a chair and a jersey. I'm not trying to get more than that. But the blanket that he was trying to give me was actually pretty nice. So I was like, maybe I could use this for the summertime when I go out over here. It was one of those like nice congas. So basically congas are like the Brazilian version of a beach towel where you could just lay down on it and it looks really nice. Very good material. So I was like, oh, this looks really nice. I don't really need it, but whatever. It's just an extra $10, right? Because they're going to charge me 50 hats for that too. So in total, $30. So it was 50, 100, 150 reais in total for that. So that's $30 US technically, right? Like I know it's a little bit less, but it's 30 USD. Before I continue on with this story, there's one piece of information that I want to put in because it makes sense to put it in now. But basically, something that I started implementing on my trips, specifically for this Brazil trip, that was the first time I implemented it, was using the Cash App card. So I wasn't really using my credit card like that because I wasn't trying to like put any more debt or anything on my credit card. I was trying to stay away from debt. I was trying to pay everything with the money I already had. So I was using my Cash App card. So what I would do is that basically I would transfer $100 at a time from my bank account to my Cash App card. The thing was, I studied it and I saw that the average amount of money that tourists spend in a day in Rio de Janeiro is $100 a day. So what I did was I would just put $100 a day onto the card, right? Because my original reason for it was basically like just in case if I lost my debit card, or also for the international fees, because basically every time y'all use your debit card overseas, they charge you $2, $3, $4 for international fees. And if you keep spending money with debit card, it's just going to keep adding up. Next thing you know, you have over $100 in international fees. So I was trying to escape the international fees. That was my original reason to why I was using the Cash App card. But I also wanted another card to use just in case if God forbid something happened to my debit card, at least I had my Cash App card or my virtual card, right? So I was transferring $100 at a time, $100 US at a time to that Cash App card from my bank account. All right. So I just thought I'd put that piece of information there for y'all. Okay. So this was what I was using to pay for the items that I got. And as y'all know, in Brazil, you don't really need cash out there because everything you can pay in card or, of course, Apple Pay. It's crazy because people think that Brazil is such a third world country until they go out there and they realize, wait a second, everything is in Apple Pay. Everything is Pix, which is their version of like Apple Pay or whatever you want to call it. They have like their own bank accounts for that type. It's like a Brazilian bank account. And if you have a Brazilian bank account, it has Pix where you're able to send people money, do things virtually. So it's kind of like that for them. And of course, you can pay with card out there. You can pay with card. You don't have to pay in cash. You don't have to carry cash with you. That was the first time I experienced that because everywhere I've been, you had to carry at least a little bit of cash on you because some places don't accept card. But everywhere in Rio de Janeiro, for the most part, accepts card. So I handed him over my card, my Cash App card that I had $100 on, right? There was $100 on that card at that moment. So the way it works is you hand them your card. They have like a machine where they do all the transactions where you basically tap it, you swipe it, or you insert it, similar to here in the States. And they input a number, they charge you, they hand you back the card, and that's that. They give you a receipt and transaction completed, right? That's the way the process works. And they're usually supposed to turn around the card machine and show you how much they're charging you. So that way you know, okay, this is how much I'm being charged, right? What you said is what you're charging me, right? That's what every single street vendor did when I was in Rio. However, this time around, for some reason, he wasn't showing me how much he was charging me. And I told him, yo, hold on one second, buddy. Listen, can you turn it around for me? Like, can I see how much you're charging me? Because you told me that basically all together, because it's 50, 100, it was 150 reais. It's equal to about $25. We'll just say 30, right? We'll just say 30. So I was under the assumption, all right, this is gonna be $30. But I still wanted to see what he was charging me on the card, right? Because they could just put whatever they want onto there. And he was being hesitant on it. He's like, nah, man, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's only 150 hats. So I was like, I had a red feeling, I had a red flag, like a gut feeling that something was wrong. But I was like, all right, nothing bad has happened to me since I've been in Brazil. I think I'll be fine. These guys, you know, they've been nice to me. I'm sure nothing's going on that's not supposed to be going on, right? And he was a big red flag. So he put in the number, right? That he said 150 hats. And basically it got declined. He said that my card got declined. And I'm like, how? I go on my Cash App account and $100 was there. I didn't show him what I had, but in my mind, I looked at it. I'm like, I have sufficient funds here. It hasn't gotten declined on me. Like, I went to the restaurant. I went to the 𝐬𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐵𝐻 happy hour. My card didn't get declined. Why is it getting declined now? I thought that was strange. I have $100 on here. I told him, listen, sir, I have enough funds in there. I didn't tell him exactly what it was. I have enough funds. That's weird that it's not going through. And he said, oh, I'll try again, right? So he tried again. Again, I told him, hey, can you turn it around? He was like, nah. This time he got a little bit more aggressive with me. But I told him, no. He got aggressive with me. I got aggressive with him. I'm like, nah, bro, turn it around. And then that's when the guys started coming closer towards me and circling me, all the favela guys. And a part of me was like, fuck it, man. Like, if these guys are doing any scammy shit, I'm gonna take all of them. I'm gonna get beat up, but I'm gonna take all of them, bro. I was drunk. You know, when I get drunk, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. When y'all motherfuckers get drunk and people trying to test you, bro, you just go to like beast mode automatically. You're trying to take everyone on. You're trying to go to war. And that's the way I thought at that moment. But I'm like, nah, I don't know what they got on them. This is Brazil. I don't know the laws. If I fight them, guess whose side they're going to take? They're always going to take the local over the tourist, man. I'm going to end up being in Brazilian jail, fucking no toilet or nothing, shit in my pants. Like, I'm not trying to go through that right now, right? Brazil jail, like American jails are already bad as is. Imagine Brazilian jails, bro. It's probably inhumane up in that motherfucker. I was like, nah, I don't want to go through that. You're right. So I was just like, all right, just trusting the guy, right? It gets declined again. And he's looking at me weird. Like, there's a problem with me. Like, if I'm broke or something. Like, motherfucker, I'm not broke. I got enough funds. I looked at it again. It had the money in there. So I was asking him, like, maybe it's a machine. So they got another machine. He still refused to turn around the thing, right? Because I gave up after a while because I was like, well, I just don't want no problems. These guys, they looking at me like, if I keep it up, there's gonna be a problem. I'm outnumbered, bro. There's like 10 of them, one of me. You know what I mean? Something were to go down, I'm fucked. My big hope at that point was that my card would just get locked and it's just unusable. And then I could just give them their stuff and walk away. That was my big hope at that point. Because up to that point, we were there for 5-6 minutes waiting up on this shit. Right. And so he got, like I said, he got the new machine. It got declined again. He kept trying, declined again, kept trying, declined again, kept trying, declined again. And then after 10 minutes of me standing there with them, finally it goes through. And I was like, I wonder what happened now that was the difference maker. I thought my car would get locked by now after all these attempts. So basically they said, you good to go. They didn't even give me a receipt or anything, which I thought was a bit suspicious. And then I walked down to the beach. And I remember unfolding my chair, putting it down, and then I put the towel around it, you know what I mean? And I sat down and there was this big, like, I just felt like there was a black cloud over me. Like something went wrong that I was just unaware about. I just had a feeling something was wrong. And so I remember looking at my Cash App account, like actually taking a look at the transactions. And I saw that these jerk-offs were trying to charge me $1,000 USD. So remember, guys, it was supposed to be 30 USD. They were trying to charge me $1,000 USD, right? And then they tried 900, 800, 700, 600, 500, 400, 300, and they stopped at 200. This is why they were taking so long the entire time. They just kept trying to get the most money that they could out of me. They started with 1,000, it failed, and it kept going all the way down to $200. And remember what I told y'all. I had $100 US in that Cash App account. 100. If they would have charged me one more time, they would have taken that $100. And I know $100 isn't a lot of money to a lot of people, but $100 is still $100. You got scammed out of $100. And by the grace of the good Lord upstairs, they stopped at 200. And I guess what happened, the mindset was after 200 was, all right, this guy's broke. He got no money in his account. Let's just charge him however much that we said we were going to charge him and at least walk out with some type of money here, right? So they charged me. I did see that they charged me $25, $30. So that's what went through, right? And so I was a little angry. I ain't going to lie. I was very angry. There was a part of me that wanted to go over there and fight them because I was that angry. I couldn't believe that you guys tried to take advantage of me and try to rob me. I felt some type of way about that. But I was just like, no, you're in a foreign country. I don't want to be in jail or deleted. So I was like, I'm just going to let it be. God did it this way for a reason, to teach me a lesson about getting drunk in foreign countries and giving people your credit cards and all that type of stuff. You got to be very careful who you engage with in these countries. But you guys want to know what the kicker is, what the true kicker is of this whole story? Was I thought that all these people that were at the beach had to get their own chairs, their own towels, their own stuff, right? That was my impression. And sure, they could still do that. Maybe that is their actual chairs or towels that they're using for the beach. I literally found out that they have people that work at the beaches that provide chairs and provide stuff for you. You don't even got to buy a chair because they already give you the chair. They basically get you a chair, they get you a little table and maybe an umbrella, right? And that's the service. And then they'll go buy for caipirinhas or food or whatever you want. So they already had this service in place, and I didn't know that because I never been to the beach in Rio de Janeiro before. I assumed all these people had their own shit with them, like the way it is here in the United States, where people bring their own chairs and own shit. But in Brazil, it's different. They already have all that stuff for you. You just got to show up and ask for it, and they'll give it to you. And of course, for a small fee, you can get those services. I looked at the services. The chair, to rent a chair, guess how much it was? 5 reais. 5 reais. I paid 50 reais for the chair I bought from the guy. 50. So technically speaking, this is why I told y'all, I sort of got ripped off. I sort of got robbed. Because instead of me paying $5 for a rented fucking chair, I paid 50 for a chair. And I heard even if you do buy a chair out there, it's not 50 reais. It's less than 50 reais. So I paid way over what buying an actual chair out there would cost. And if I would have just rented it, it would have been 5. So technically, I got ripped off. But you know what? God protected me. He looked out after me. And basically, he was like, no, I would not allow you to get scammed and have $1,000 ripped out from your bank account like that. And he protected me. Something told me before that Brazil trip, something told me, I don't know what it was. It might have been my own instincts, me being a veteran traveler. I kind of understood, hey, get a Cash App card. Got a Cash App card, only put whatever the average budget was per day on there, which was $100. Put that on the card every day. And that protected me from getting scammed. Because imagine how many tourists go to these places using their actual debit cards and having these vendors out there rip them off, put whatever they want onto the machine and rip them off. In that case, I would have got ripped off from $1,000. And they probably do that to a lot of people where these guys are paying, with their debit card. They probably has thousands and thousands of dollars in there. And these guys are out here taking $1,000 from their bank accounts. And that could have been me. But because I used the Cash App account, it protected me from that fate. That's what I tell you. I say this every time I talk about this incident. But you see, when you're a good guy and you look out after people and you have good intentions, God's going to protect you, man. And God protected me in that day. So even though I did get ripped off because of that chair, guess what? I didn't get $1,000 ripped out from my bank account. It could have been way worse. And another thing that I left out was this motherfucker. I told him, give me a Vinicius Jr. jersey. Vinicius Jr., for those of you who know, big player from Real Madrid, right? I'm a fan of his. This motherfucker gave me Neymar Jr. I told him Vinicius. He gave me Neymar Jr. Neymar played for Barcelona. I don't like Barcelona. What the fuck? So basically, I got the wrong jersey. I got Neymar Jr. I wanted to go back just because of that. I'm like, motherfucker, you gave me Neymar Jr. I told you Vinicius. But yeah, guys, that's what happened. I almost got robbed of $1,000 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. But, I didn't because God protected me. But yeah, guys, be very careful. Take this story as a cautionary tale. Make sure that you guys are protecting yourselves. Do not talk to sketchy people. Make sure you have a PayPal card, a Cash App card, something where you're just transferring money to it. You're not getting charged international fees. Because like I said, guys, these street vendors, and it's not even just Brazil. I'm just talking about Brazil, but this can happen anywhere, Europe, wherever. You can give them your card and they can put whatever they want, charge you whatever they want. And by the time you realize, it might be too late. By the time you realize, you might be back in the United States. And you're like, what the fuck? And now you really can't do anything about it, right? So make sure you're protecting yourselves and get these cards to protect yourselves. Only transfer a little bit at a time, okay? Or take out a little bit of cash at a time. Don't take out too much cash, all right? And that's how you can escape these type of scams and getting robbed like I almost got in Brazil. But guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Check out that Patreon if you guys want to see exclusive content. And also, if you want to see more Brazil videos, check out this video over here.